very, very large policies. And the
Yeah.
very, very large policies were actually were the historical ones, money. They weren't recent, you know. You're talking
Yeah.
about ones back from 6, 7, 8, 9, you know.
Yeah.
After that, policies became very much very much smaller, you know. So the extra hit as well, if you're a lender, or the extra attack, would be to always fight limitation as a first line of defense on these cases. So these cases as well, because Kevin was always going to be the bigger cases, the larger policies, because traditionally, as I saw it as a trend when I was looking at banks and lenders' policies, was that there was very much less commission on the smaller policies, and there was way more smaller policies than there were larger ones.
Yeah.
So I think that's why the Tevin case said, okay, then above 50%, because that took all the bigger policies, you know, where you'd have, where you'd have 30, 30,000 policy that provide an indemnity of maybe 40,000, something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So it was, and that's the old 04 to 08, 09 history.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's another thing as well. So I think these cases actually will only have relevance to the larger historic policies, and in those, and certainly when I was acting for lenders like Welcome, the subprime guys, I would be defending on limitation very harshly. I'd be attacking it all the way, you know, trying to get the claim struck out. And we were, you know, often we were successful.
Yeah.
You know, and I think actually looking at this Doran case and the way that this judge just brushes over the whole limitation issue, that's something I think that, you know, he said, oh no, it's perfectly fair and reasonable for it to reinvestigate in the past. But really, is it? Because I think from memory, this was a 2004 policy in the Doran case. So that was 14 years ago. You know, and certainly even in occupational disease and asbestos cases, for example, if something is 8, 9, 10 years, really from date of knowledge,
Yeah.
you know, the judge has to draw the line somewhere. And so
Yeah.
I think that's another area of attack as well. I'm definitely going back to your thing. Mostly in my experience as well, a catalogue debt, a catalogue cards was quite a bit smaller, you know, a smaller debt, and the policies were very much smaller as well. So the commissions, in my experience, although it could be wrong, in some instances were very much lower as well, you know. So I think,
Yeah.
you know, because I remember when Clevin came out, and I first of all said, yeah, but this is mostly concerned with older and therefore bigger policies, you know, because as time went on, policies got smaller, you know, so that is the trend.
But I assume Shop Direct would have policies from any period of time. It's not like they were a more recent PPI company, right? They've been around for a while, so they would still have that issue. The older ones, they may not be as large as a credit card or a mortgage, but
I noticed the trend, and this is something you would know better than me, I suppose, if you ask more of the shelves look at it. The policies I think would have been generally smaller. And if the policies were smaller, their commission would have been smaller. But I don't know if that's a trend right across the industry. It was certainly true of lenders I'd acted for in the past. But that might be something you might want to look into. You know.
Yeah, no, I'll see what they tell me. They've been very difficult to get information out of on the PPI. They just don't want to say anything. I mean, they disclose less information than the public banks. So it's hard to get. I mean, you can get the Omnispun kind of website information, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. But it's something to look at, maybe just something to do a bit of analysis on, or someone maybe instruct someone to do a bit of analysis, because I think that'll be quite telling to look at the average size of policies and how old they are, and look to see if there is a decline in size of policy as time goes on. And if you see that trend, I think you're less exposed. You know. That's the way that we look, and that's what that's what MBNA had, for example. Older policies, very high, more smaller policies as time goes on, and therefore lower commissions. And if that is the trend, which I'll direct, then I think you get, then there's less risk, you know. And I think that should be the trend.
I'm surprised.